Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, represented here by the Vice President of Nigeria, Your Excellency, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Your Excellency, President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, Your Excellency, the former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, Your Excellency, the former Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, who has just been mentioned here, was instrumental in the formation of AFC, Chukwuma Soludo, who's currently Governor of Anambra State, honorable ministers and government representatives, esteemed ladies and gentlemen. It is sincerely a pleasure to be here today and to welcome especially those of you who have traveled great distances from AFC's 35 member countries and international investment partners to be here with us today in Abuja. The fact that you have made the journey here is certainly testament to global progress in putting the worst of COVID-19 pandemic behind us. Over the past 2 years, we have lived through not one, but numerous crises, each with profound implications for the economies of Africa. The COVID crisis, with its lockdowns and global supply chain disruptions, triggered recession in most parts of the world. This crisis also injected fresh urgencies to Africa's drive for self-reliance in manufacturing and processing of essential products. The climate crisis is forcing transition to cleaner fuels, including natural gas, and the metals and minerals needed for electric vehicles and batteries, resources that Africa has in abundance. The crisis in Ukraine is driving fresh impetus to diversify energy supply chains, with significant refocusing on supplies from Africa. If Winston Churchill taught us to never let a good crisis go to waste, numerous crises surely herald numerous opportunities. Clearly, in the midst of challenges from inflation, economic growth, conflict, and food and energy shortages, we are also at an inflection point today, the response to which will shape the course of history for decades to come. In short, Africa must seize the opportunity. We owe this to our children and future generations. So what is the right path ahead? As CBN Governor, you might not be too surprised when I tell you that the path begins with finance. Our future depends on strengthening Africa's capacity to finance our own growth. Yet, Africa's financing needs are growing and will only get bigger as our populations expand and urbanize, as climate change demands greater robustness in our buildings and infrastructure, and as energy transition requires rethinking of power supplies, transportation, and living. The key is unlocking new sources of funding, both international and domestic. Be assured such capital is available. It is locked in pension funds, insurance companies, sovereign wealth funds, mutual funds. We are limited only by our ability to reduce risk for investors and provide stable, steady, and predictable competitive returns. Over the years, the Central Bank of Nigeria has played a leading role in investment and resource mobilization. In fact, the reason that we're all here today, brought together by the Africa Finance Corporation, is a case in point. The CBN deployed an initial $500 million in investment in AFC. 15 years on, the corporation has a balance sheet of over $10 billion in investments in 35 countries. Last year, the Central Bank of Nigeria, together with the AFC and the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, under the steer of our Vice President, who is present here today, launched the Infrastructure Corporation of Nigeria, a world-class infrastructure development vehicle focused on tackling Nigeria's $100 billion annual infrastructure needs. This year, the central bank is already participating in the capital raise for Afrexim Bank. What the AFC, Infracorp, and Afrexim have in common is that these institutions are important enablers of innovative financial structures that help crowd investments into critical infrastructure projects. The AFC core mission is to help Africa close its infrastructure and industrial deficit, creating prosperity and jobs for our youth and overcoming historical development challenges once and for all. Climate considerations are an inextricable part of AFC's approach, from building infrastructure that will be resilient against extreme weather to developing ecosystems that are focused on the industries of the future in electric vehicles and renewable energy. At the same time, AFC is determined to meaningfully close the energy deficit that stifles Africa's development and opportunities. In addition to renewable energies, natural gas, for example, must be a fundamental part of Africa's policy response to the energy deficit. As everyone here understands, we are operating in an ever more complex, challenging, and competitive global economic environment. As infrastructure and financing needs of the continent are only getting bigger, we all have a role to play in raising more capital, both from domestic sources and international ones, and making sure that we are deploying this capital effectively and at speed to support double-digit growth. As we all know, investors are motivated by fear and greed. When investors look at projects in Africa, they should suffer from fear of missing out on investment returns, and missing out on creating a bigger social and environmentally positive impact that can be attained anywhere else in the world. Esteemed delegates, we are privileged to be joined together here in Abuja, but make no mistake, AFC life is not a talking shop. I challenge everyone here to follow the example of the AFC and its partners and to help equip our institutions so that they can invest and deploy capital at scale. We need, as African governments, as central banks, as corporate leaders, as investors, to rally together and be bolder in our ambitions and support our continental champions and institutions like the AFC. Thank you to all of you who believe in Nigeria. Thank you to all of you who believe in Africa and who are working with the AFC and our continent's champions. Let us be bold in our ambitions and steadfast and urgent in our execution. Thank you very much.